So, I actually recorded for this jumping puzzle about 12 hours ago. Yes, I did complete my quest, by the way. Um, what was it for? All of a sudden, I can't remember. I think it was Ogre Slayer. Yeah, that's what I was doing. That's why I was bouncing through so many different zones. I was like, what am I trying to do? Oh, I'm trying to find ogres to kill. Because it's a thing. And to finish it, I used Onua Knife Maker here. My only engineer, but not my only char. Um, this guy's a craftsman, so basically I never use him except for crafting and refining. I think I better get going. So anyways, the reason I'm using Onua again is because, well, when I did the jumping puzzle 12 hours ago, I made the mistake of doing gliding through the majority of it, and I think that's a little unfair to the design of the puzzle. Now, yes, there are jumping puzzles out there where, yeah, you better use the gliding, and I will get to those kinds of puzzles eventually. But this one, I think it was a little unfair to actually use the gliding, even though it is an option. So here I am 12 hours later, re-recording the jumping puzzle. And still have a stuffed nose type sound to my voice. Oh god, even 12 hours later I can't remember how to use this guy. Sure, go ahead, waste your time. You could just walk away from it. There we go. And it coincidentally happened right outside the entrance.
Buster.
I tried setting this guy up as a scrapper, but like melee on an engineer? Since when? I mean, sure, you got a shield, but whatever. I got a shield right here. Yeah, so whatever. And you want me to use melee? Well, I've got a toolkit. So like, I don't need a giant hammer as the primary weapon, because then you're asking me to get rid of the rifle, which is, quite frankly, yeah, engineer. Anyways, here's the jumping puzzle. This is called Branded Mine. Now, even though there's a guild challenge right here, this is both a guild challenge and a jumping puzzle at the same time. They're not related to each other, except for the fact that they occupy the same area. Did I remember to enable or disable? I'm going to disable my double tap. So I'm going to attempt to do a jumping puzzle while avoiding using gliding. By the way, ArenaNet, contrary to popular belief, I would like it if you had a toggle for gliding. The other reason I was using Onua here, oops, yeah, that happens. Make sure, okay, two things. One, I've got the camera shake disabled. There actually is a camera shake that'll happen when just before those boulders show up. So if your camera starts doing this, or whatever it is, the boulders are going to fall, and as you just saw, boulders will knock you over. So the other reason that I chose Onua here is just to prove that yes, you can do jumping puzzles with a char. Of course, I do this with... Let's see, how do you... Okay. It's been so long... I'll be honest, it's been so long since I did this without gliding. I can't... Or it's been so long since I've done it with gliding that I can't even remember how to do it without gliding. So, yes. Easy peasy. For your rangers, if you want to get your hands on a juvenile raven, that's where you can get them. I want to say that's the only place, but I could be wrong. Now, to be fair, a lot of people fear horizontal bars. They have, like a really long drop, and they can be really inconveniently placed, and they can have boulders falling on you from above. That happens once in a while. Actually, boulders do fall on there. So there's two things. There's three rules. One, you want to disable your double tap to avoid accidents, because, I would rather have you do this inching thing accidentally rather than, tumble off the edge. So that's the first rule. The second rule is never ever approach them, if you can avoid it, never approach them horizontally like this. Or, I'm sorry, perpendicular. Never approach these horizontal bars perpendicular to them. Okay, what you want to do is you want to attach them, or I'm sorry, attack them diagonally, because it gives you more space to work with. The other thing you want to do, again, if given the option, don't just go diagonally at them. Oops, I glided. But also, oh god, am I going to fall? Okay, good. The other thing you want to do, that was kind of a bad example. Let's see, I'll do it here. So not only diagonally, but jump towards the wall. Because that gives you time, because your character is going to slide along the edge. Don't slide off, please. Your character is going to slide up against the wall, which is what you want it to do. Because it gives you that extra split second to get off, or to get your finger off of the button, or off the key. So with that tip out of the way, that's the end of the jumping puzzle. Yay. It's not difficult. You get to play around with those horizontal bars, and you get to do a little more platforming here. It's not just figuring out where to go next, but it's a little more of, you know, you actually have to deal with really narrow ledges. Especially this one right here. It's actually, you know, it's up on edge, and it's different from everything else. So that can also be a little bit of a challenge right there. And there's also a little bit of education for these, which you'll come across these in a number of other jumping puzzles. And so with that, oh, by the way, I totally did this jumping puzzle with a char, so no excuses. And no mesmers either. This is Ava Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in.